Hello everyone, my name is Nargis Nasreen, and in today's video we are going to learn about SQL SELECT Statement. So let's see how to use this. So SELECT Statement is something that you are going to use most of the time, like whenever you are going to work on any SQL data set, you will be using this SELECT Statement because we have to get to know about the data set, we have to get an idea about it. So for that we have to look at it. And for that we use select statement. So let's see what it will help you with. So it allows you to extract a fraction of the entire data set. Now let's try to understand what is the meaning of this. The meaning is when we work on a certain data set, it can have thousands of columns and millions of rows. So it's not like every time whenever we are going to work on that data set, we have to look at the whole data set. No, we might be selecting few columns and few records from it, right? So in that case, select statement will be helpful, right? So for so what we can say, so let me write down one more point here, that is, it is used to retrieve data from database objects like tables, right? Simple. So like the same thing I've written in two different lines. So select statement is basically used to extract the data, some part of the data from a data set, okay, like some columns and few rows, something like that. So now let's try to understand how to write it. What is the syntax of this? Okay, see what we do, we start with select, then we write down the column name that you want to select. So let's say I will be writing column 1, column 2, and so on, like whatever column you want to select, you can write it down. Then we have to write down from, this is a keyword, and then you have to write down the name of the table that you want to use. Okay, so what it will do, it will give you only those columns that you have mentioned here. Okay, and all the records will be there. Okay, now there is one more way of writing this, like what if you want to select each and every column? So in that case, we are not going to write down every column name. What we do, we write down select star, star means all, then the same thing, from, and the name of the table. So here star represents all. Okay, so this is about columns. Now what if we do not want to select all the records? I want to select few of them. Okay, by records I mean rows. So in that case we use a clause that is called as where clause. So what is the use of this? So where clause, it will allow us to set a condition on the select statement so that you can specify what part of the data you want to retrieve from the data set. Okay. Now, what's the way of writing? And as I said, we use this with select statement. So we are going to start with select statement. I'm again going to write down the syntax. We start with select statement. Then you mention the name of the column, from, table name, and after writing this much, we use where clause and we set the condition. And according to that condition, it is going to show you that number of rows or that many records. Okay. Now, okay, so this is all about select statement. So now let's go to MySQL workbench and we are going to use the data set, that is employees data set that we loaded in the previous class. If you don't know how to load a data set in MySQL workbench, please go back and watch the previous video. And like if you do not have that data set, so again I will put the drive link inside in the description section. You can download it from there and then you can load it inside your MySQL workbench. And yeah, and the link is already available in the previous video as well. Okay, So let's quickly go to MySQL workbench. So let me first delete everything. Yeah, so this is what we did in the last class, right? So now I am going to show you how to use select command. So first of all, I will add a new tab in this. Okay. Now I have so many data sets present here, as you can see in the schema section. So I have to mention which one I want to use. So for that, we know we use keyword, and we write down use employees because the name of the data set is employees. Okay. Now, when I'm going to use select command, that means I want to retrieve data from tables. Okay. So let's see what are the tables we have present in this data set, which is employees. So we have departments, department employee, department manager, employees, salaries, and titles. And so let's use employees data, employees table. Okay. And as you can see, again, a name of database and name of table can be same. That is not a problem. But name of two databases cannot be equal, and name of two tables also cannot be equal. Even column names cannot be same. Okay, so be careful of these things. So I am going to write down select. First, I will select everything. So I will be writing star from employees. Okay, so let's execute this. And yeah, we get around 300,024 records. Okay, so we have the employee number, birth date, first name, last name, gender, and the hire date of each and every employee. Okay, so now let's use the second way of using select, like when we have to mention the name of the columns. What I will do, I will write on select. Let's select two columns, let's say first name and last name. So I will be writing select first name, last name from employees. So what it will do, it will give me only these two columns with all the records. And yeah, we get again those many rows, 300,024. Okay, so and only two columns. Fine. Now let's try to use the where clause. Like I do not want these many records. So what we can do, I will write down select a star from employees where. So I can see the first name of the first employee is George. So I will be using that name only. Where let me write down your first name. I want to see how many employees are there with this first name. Okay. So for this we have to use equal sign. Okay. So this equal sign is acting as a linking keyword, right? Linking we can say keyword right now here, which is called as equal operator also. And we have to give the name inside quotation mark as this is a string. Okay. So now let me execute this. So we have 253 records with this name. As you can see, all the employees' first name is Georgie. Okay. So yeah, this is how we use select statement with where clause and without where clause. You can play around with this. You can play with different column names. And that's it. And I mentioned one important term here right now. That is the linking keyword, which is right now in this one is the equal operator. But there are so many linking keywords in SQL, and that is what we are going to learn in the further classes. Okay, so that's all for this video. And if you get any question, you can ask me in the comment section. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.